going on, guys? BrettO Live back with another video, and welcome to the Week in Review, episode 174. This is where we go over Raw and SmackDown in a WWE action figure setup style. This is episode 174. We're going to be going over Monday Night Raw first. Raw was kick butt, dude, in my opinion. I enjoyed the matches. I enjoyed the storytelling. I enjoyed the fresh, new stuff, dude. Of course, thanks to HHH, you guys already know, this was a decent Raw. We're also going to be talking about SmackDown about halfway through this video, so stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe to the channel every single Saturday morning. We always drop the Week in Review, so always be ready for it. And without further ado, let's jump into the Monday Night Raw part of it. We opened up the show with the Judgment Day. Judgment Day coming out, speaking their piece, talking about the Mysterios, what they did to Dominic last week, how they distracted Rey Mysterio with the carcass of the beat-up Dominic, and they're like, Rey Mysterio and the Mysterios aren't here tonight, Edge isn't here tonight, and as they're talking more trash, here comes Rey Mysterio from behind with a steel chair. He starts laying haymakers on Priest, Finn Balor. He hesitates multiple different times to hit Rhea Ripley because of course she's a woman and Rey Mysterio is obviously a man, so that really wouldn't go over too well, I wouldn't think. But the hesitation cost Rey Mysterio. Damian Priest and Finn Balor took advantage of that hesitation, ended up delivering a coup de grace onto a chair which was on top of Rey Mysterio. They beat the living crap out of him. I thought Edge was coming out, but I think they were telling the truth about Edge. Edge was not here tonight. He was back, I guess, in Toronto, preparing for his match up against Damian Priest coming up this Monday Night on Raw, which they are hyping up. That ought to be a really good match. But as far as this goes, I thought it was a decent way to open up the show. Got the crowd excited, even though Rey Mysterio got beat down. But I still thought it was pretty good. Moving over here, we had a really fun tag team match. It was Ciampa and The Miz going up against Mustafa Ali, as well as Cedric Alexander. What a tag team right there in itself. Two of the original Cruiserweight 205 Live guys right there teaming up as a really good tag team. I thought it was really good. In the end, we saw Mustafa Ali and Cedric. They looked like they were about to pick up the victory over Miz. But then, as Mustafa Ali went for the 450 splash, Ciampa caught Ali out of the air with a knee to the face. There might have been a boot to the face, but he destroyed him as he was coming down. And then he was able to hit the fairy tale ending on Mustafa Ali to pick up the victory for him and The Miz. Like I said, I thought this was a really fun tag team match. I don't like seeing Ciampa in pink and green. I don't think that fits him. I do think he needs more of a darker attire. But what I think is going to happen, I think Ciampa and The Miz are going to end up splitting up. And I want to see Ciampa turn on The Miz. I don't want to see a face Ciampa. I want to see a face Miz. Change it up. Have Ciampa be the super heel. And then have Miz be a face. I think that tag team needs to split up. This is my personal opinion, though. Moving over here, it was a women's tag team, not a qualifiers match, but the tournament that they got going on, which isn't too bad. This match was pretty obvious, though. It was Alexa Bliss and Asuka going up against Nikki Cross and Doudrop. 2-on-2 tag team match, pretty basic here. Asuka and Alexa Bliss were able to pick up the victory. They had Bianca Belair in their corner. Didn't really pose as a factor for them winning even more, but yeah, they just kind of beat Doudrop and Nikki Cross. No freaking shocker there. As they were walking up the ramp, they did get confronted by Dakota Kai, Bayley, and Io Shirai, but then it just went to commercial, just basically showing that they still want to push this 3-on-3 rivalry that they got going on. Speaking of Dakota Kai had a match later that night with Bayley and Io Sky in her corner, and she went one-on-one with Dana Brooke, and yeah, this match was alright, you know. It was sort of just a match. Nothing really happened here. She kind of just beat Dana Brooke. No surprises there. Dakota Kai with another victory here on Monday Night Raw over the 24/7 champion. But she pinned the 24/7 champion. Doesn't that make her the 24/7 champion? Let's hope not, because yeah. But yeah, she did pin the 24/7 champion. That doesn't really make any sense. Moving over here, it was my favorite part about this show. It was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, baby. The prized fighter is back. Well, first, Drew McIntyre comes out talking about all the current things popping in the company right now. He's talking about Karrion Kross. He's talking about Roman Reigns, what's going to be happening at the Clash at the Castle. And then, of course, he gets interrupted by Kevin Owens, and I was not expecting Kevin Owens. I wanted to see Kevin Owens tonight, but I was not expecting him to interrupt Drew. He interrupts Drew, comes out, talks about how he wants the old Kevin Owens back. Like Kevin Owens is talking about himself. He wants the old KO back. He wants the prize fighter back. He wants to start winning. And then he calls out Drew McIntyre, says he's overrated, and different things like this. And Drew's like, don't ever pull that BS yes, again, I held this company down for all this time. I beat Goldberg, Randy. This promo was just so serious. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. Drew McIntyre's like, we're two wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's just freaking wrestle. So, of course, they did just that. They had a one-on-one match. It was kick-ass. And during this match, BrettO Live came in to watch this one with me, and I'm like, no, I don't see a winner. I don't see a winner here. Kevin's not going to lose because they're building up his new look. Drew's not going to lose because he has to face Roman at Clash of the Castle. Somebody's going to interrupt it, and I guessed the Usos. And here come the Usos. The Usos run out. They attack, and then it turns into disqualification. Nobody really wins here. But then Drew McIntyre starts fighting back. He sends the Usos out of the ring, but then Kevin Owens takes down Drew McIntyre and says to the Usos, tell your tribal chief he owes me one, because he left Drew McIntyre down in the center of the ring for the Usos with some easy pickings. But the Usos went in, and Drew McIntyre still fight for himself, man. He still fought him off. He still sent him away. Drew McIntyre had the Claymore kick on Jimmy Uso, sent him out of the ring, and then Kevin Owens, I don't really know what's going to happen after this, but yeah, dude, thought this was really cool. Set up Kevin Owens, built up, even though Roman wasn't even there, Drew still built up some things with Roman, even though it was the Usos. Thought it was really freaking good. Moving over here is Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship. They were hyping this matchup all night, even last week, and I love the mid-card championship matches. I love these matches because they always hit so hard if they're done correctly. This was really good. I thought it was awesome. During this match, we saw Dexter Lumis appear. He tried jumping the barricade again, but security ended up getting him, which I find cool. But when is this going to stop? This is the second week in a row, because we all know Dexter Lumis wants to feud with AJ Styles because he interrupted him last week after he won the match, and then Bobby Lashley won the United States title. I don't see him going with Dexter Lumis, so it's going to be AJ Styles versus Dexter Lumis, and it worked perfectly because in the end, Bobby Lashley was able to hit a spear on AJ Styles to retain his United States Championship. So we're getting the picture here. Lashley's going to be defending his title on Raw. Styles is going to be feuding with Dexter Lumis, which ought to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Moving over here, we had Riddle. Riddle was being interviewed supposedly in his mother's basement via satellite, and then Seth Rollins interrupts, comes out to the ring, and then Riddle is not in his mother's basement. He's actually backstage at the show, and he challenged Seth Rollins to a match at Clash of the Castle, and then he ran out to the ring, and he beat up Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins ran over the barricade, and Riddle was celebrating in the sea of WWE fans, which I thought was pretty cool. Decent build-up to their match that's going to be happening at Clash of the Castle. I am looking forward to it. Moving over here, it was the main event. Yes, the main event. It was Austin Theory going up against Dolph Ziggler one-on-one, and I loved this match because Theory reminds me of a young Dolph Ziggler. Arrogant, heel, young, and this was awesome because Ziggler's sort of like the veteran, and he's got to face his younger self, kind of. And this match was really good. I did enjoy it. In the end, we saw Dolph Ziggler hit a zigzag. I thought he had Theory, but he didn't. Theory kicked out, and then in the end, Theory was able to. He tried to cheat one time. He had his feet on the rope for leverage. He tried to cheat one time. It didn't really work out. The ref saw it, and then in the end, somehow Theory was able to hit A-Town down, and he dropped Ziggler 1, 2, 3, and then took a selfie with his body. And then they ended the show with Theory picking up the victory. Well, that was pretty cool. I do like Theory, so yeah, that was pretty good. As far as Monday Night Raw on a whole, I really enjoyed this show, guys. Like, I really did. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, wow, this is, like, really freaking good, dude. Solid matches, solid storytelling, new stuff. It's just like, wow, this is such a fresh piece of cake, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, guys, that was Monday Night Raw. In the end, I'm probably going to give it I want to give it a 4 out of 5. But I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But it's a high 3. If we're talking 3, it's like a 3.8 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? It's a high 3 out of 5, if you guys know what I'm saying. SmackDown Live. The house that AJ Styles built. I love when he used to say that. But anyway, guys, SmackDown. Yes, SmackDown. We're going to jump right in. Same thing we just did with Raw. We're going to go through it, talk about what happened, what was good, what was bad. I'm going to rank it at the end. So without further ado, let's jump into SmackDown. Starting over here, we opened up the show with a bang. Triple H likes to do this. He likes to open up the shows just getting right to the point, and he did just that. We opened on the ring, a couple little, shots at the commentators, a little talking, and then boom, Ronda Rousey jumps the barricade, rushes the ring. Of course, she is suspended at the current time, so it sort of is illegal for her to jump the ring. So Adam Pearce comes out, tells her to leave the ring. Ronda Rousey's like, we could either do this physically or this and that, and then a couple security guards jump in the ring, fail to take Ronda Rousey out, and then Adam Pearce sends out 2 police officers to escort Ronda Rousey out of the building. And Ronda Rousey doesn't want to fight any police officers, so she kind of surrenders to them, and then she gets put in a cop car and driven away and arrested in the beginning of the show for jumping the ring. Did I like this? It was okay. I just find it a little cheesy. I'm not going to lie. But it wasn't bad. Moving over here, it was Natalya and Sonya Deville going up against Toxic Attraction from NXT. I'm not too familiar with Toxic Attraction. I hear that they are former NXT Tag Team Champions, which is pretty cool. But the thing that really had me scratching my head during this match is I think it was supposed to be Natalya and Sonya Deville versus Nikita and Zoe Stark. That's what I thought the match was supposed to be. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I'm nearly 100% positive it was supposed to be Zoe Stark and Nikita facing these two and not Toxic Attraction. But anyways, Toxic Attraction were able to pick up the victory. And of course, we did a Bayley and her team on ringside as fans with tickets. They didn't really pose a factor in this match too much. But yeah, Toxic Attraction did pick up the victory and did move on in the tag team tournament for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Moving over here, it was Liv Morgan going one-on-one with Shotzi. This match was okay. I wouldn't really consider it a squash match, but Liv Morgan was able to pick up the victory in pretty fast fashion over Shotzi here, of course, making her look better going into her matchup against Shayna Baszler at Clash of the Castle. Speaking of Shayna Baszler attacks her right after the match. Looks like she's about to break her arm, but then she tells her, and I liked this audio, by the way, how the camera got close enough so we could hear Shayna Baszler, because she wasn't on a microphone when she was saying this, but she said, I would break your arm now, but I want to do it at Clash of the Castle. I want to break your arm and take your title at the same time, which I thought was pretty cool. Showing a little sympathy, but not too much, because she faked that she was about to do it and then kicked her right in the face, which I thought was pretty cool. I do like Shayna Baszler. I do think if they were to put the title on Shayna, I think a Ronda and Shayna rivalry would be really good. That's just my opinion. But yeah, as far as all this goes, it was all right. Moving over here, we had the Viking Raiders. They did a little promo, basically just saying how they're going to be destroying the New Day in the future. It's they called it a Viking Day instead of a New Day. They said their time is up. Basically, their time is now. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Viking Idiots, as I call them. I don't know how you guys feel about them. Let me know in the comments down below. But as far as this promo goes, like I said, with the Ronda getting arrested, it was a little cheesy. Yes, I do have Swerve over there, but it was Hit Row interrupting the MMM, the Maximum Male Models. And then, yeah, so Maximum Male Models are in the ring. I don't have any other figures, so I kind of just, besides must say. But anyways, MMM is out there. They get interrupted by Hit Row. They take him out of the ring, get him out of the equation, and then Hit Row just starts rapping. I thought this was terrible. I literally thought this was horrible, and I do like certain rap music too, but I just thought this was terrible, dude. The Acclaimed would wreck these guys, in my opinion, when it comes to quick raps. But yeah, this was terrible, really freaking bad. Moving over here, we had an amazing five-man just match. This was great. It was Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Happy Corbin, Ricochet, as well as Madcap. This was a really good fatal five-way match. The winner gets an Intercontinental Championship opportunity against Gunther at Clash of the Castle. This was a really good match. I wanted Sheamus to win, but I thought they were going to give it to Sami Zayn because they were in his hometown of Montreal this night, and the crowd was loving Zayn, bro. I love when Sami Zayn goes back to Canada, and him and Kevin Owens, they always get such a big ovation. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw, which is in Toronto. Not Kevin's hometown, but it is still like in Canada, so he ought to get a really good ovation on Monday Night Raw. Stay tuned for the next week interview. Obviously, popping up next Saturday. Feel free to stay tuned. But yeah, this was really good. Sami Zayn had a bunch of close calls, winning with Blue Thunder Bombs, Halula kicks. I really thought they were going to give it to Zayn, but in the end, they gave it to Sheamus. Sheamus was able to hit the bro kick to pick up the victory. That was pretty cool. And Sheamus is going to be facing Gunther at Clash of the Castle. I am looking forward to it. Moving over here, it was Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns going face to face, as they said in the beginning of the show. They will be going face to face later in the show, and it was pretty decent. Roman Reigns came out saying, anybody who says they're carrying this company on their back is lying. I'm the true carrier of this business. Gets interrupted by Drew McIntyre because, of course, it's scheduled to be like a face-to-face confrontation between the two. So they start trash talking. Drew's like, forget all this. Let's just fight. It's not normal that I get you all alone without the Usos and Paul Heyman, which it was pretty interesting to not see them. But then it ends up in an all-out brawl. Drew McIntyre looks like he's going to hit the Claymore on Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn takes the blow because, of course, he's the honorary Uce. And then Roman's like, oh my gosh, this is my opportunity. But then he ended up getting Claymore kicked as well by Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre had a really cool sight, kneeling over Roman Reigns with the championships just like this. That is going to be the SmackDown side of the thumbnail. It looks freaking fantastic. But yeah, guys, I thought it was a decent way to end the show. That was pretty cool. I do like Drew. I like Roman, both of them, so it was pretty decent. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown. In the end, I'm probably going to give it a 2 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty weak show, minus the Fatal 5-Way and the Drew stuff. But as far as the entire show goes in a whole, it was just okay. 2 out of 5 from me. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown. That was Raw Setup Style Week in Review. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. Stay tuned till next week for the next Week in Review, dropping very, very soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Brett, the top guy, out.